if you're on this line right now for the very first time, it's probably because somebody told you an insane story about making some ridiculous amount of money in some ridiculously short period of time. You don't really believe it's true, but you had to get on here just in case. I don't even know what story they told you, but I'm going to tell you that it's probably true. And I think when you really get a chance to see what we're doing here, it's going to make sense to you all along the way. So my goal is simple tonight. Answer 3 questions for you. Number 1, who is Qtrex? Number 2, what is it that we do? And number 3, I think most importantly, why should you even care? I mean, even if we're a great company doing something awesome, why did somebody tell you you had to be here? I hope that I can answer all 3 of those questions very well. But at the end of this webinar, if you still have unanswered questions, get back to the person who invited you on, and they can clear up things for you. I'm going to give you that 30,000-foot perspective. They can drill you down to the granular details. So let's kick in. Let's get started. And let's talk about Qtrex 100% instant pay Bitcoin smart technology. Okay, now we are in the middle of a leadership launch. Somebody probably told you that. I'm sure you've heard it over and over and over again. But one of the things I always realize is that the word leader, you know, it has a wide berth. There's a lot of people who can fall into this group. We know right now on this webinar right now, we've got some crypto experts. I call them my crypto heads, right? We've got some home biz professionals who may have gone out and built massive distribution networks across the country, across the world in different products and services. Some social media influencers that are crushing it right now on Facebook and YouTube and Instagram, etc. And then we've got some community influencers that, you know, maybe pastors, teachers, coaches, business leaders. All of you are leaders, but I'm sure all of you would agree, you all probably have different knowledge bases. So even though the crypto guys may understand crypto to the nth degree, maybe you don't understand some of the home-based business compensation plans, etc. Maybe you don't understand how some of the tech works, like some of the social media guys. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cover some topics for you. I'm going to hit some things for you. We're going to talk about smart contracts and crowdfunding and unilevel, blockchain, matrix, Bitcoin. We're going to throw it all at you because Qtrex is an amalgamation of all of these things. Some of them, these things are going to hit you right away and say, oh, I know what that is. This is remedial for me. And some of them might be slightly outside of your reach. I hope I can do a good enough job tonight that even if a couple things I talk about are outside of your reach, you take the time to discover what they are and understand them, because if you miss this, you may not forgive yourself. Don't blame it on me. I'm telling you right up front, I'm going to go through a bunch of these things. I'm going to do the best that I can, but if you see just a little bit that piques your interest, get back to the person who invited you on, get the rest of the information, and hopefully we can get a chance to work together. So I got to start this talking about my man Laszlo. There he is right there, Laszlo the legend. I call him Laszlo the legend because he is legendary for 2 reasons in this industry that we're about to talk about. Number 1, Laszlo, back on May 22nd, 2010, did something that had never been done before in the history of cryptocurrency. He actually was able to use cryptocurrency to make a real world transaction. He spent $30 worth of Bitcoin to get 2 Papa John's pizzas. It was a big deal. He put it all over the message boards. Everybody got excited because they realized for the very first time that cryptocurrency was not just a concept. It was going to have real world application, and it was going to be used as currency and money in the real world. That was a big deal. Such a big deal that Laszlo is so famous now because of that every May 22nd is celebrated as being Bitcoin Pizza Day. So that's the first reason why he's legendary. Doesn't explain the look on his face, though. Let me explain the look on his face right there, because that's not a good look. That's not a legendary look. Here's the thing I want you to realize. Back in May of 2010, 1 Bitcoin was worth $0.003. To put that in perspective, that's not 30 cents or 3 cents. That's 1/3 of a penny. So for Laszlo to get those 2 pizzas and get that $30, he had to put together 10,000 Bitcoin to get 2 pizzas. Well, for those of you who are not aware, 10,000 Bitcoin today is worth over $100 million. Laszlo paid over $100 million for two pizzas. Okay, every single year since Laszlo did that, every single year, right around May 22nd, some reporter, some talk show host pulls him onto a show and they ask him the same question over and over again. Why'd you pay so much money for a couple of pizzas. And every single year, Laszlo gets that look on his face and he says, because I didn't know. Guys, I want you to know this. My goal tonight is to make sure you don't find yourself being another Laszlo the legend. You don't find yourself saying, I didn't know. We are going to talk about why, if you understand what you see here, the only thing you should be obsessed with for the next couple of years is Bitcoin accumulation. If you get it, you got it. If you miss it, you're going to have that look on your face a couple of years from now. I promise you, because you're going to say, I was there, I saw it, but I didn't act. Now think about this for a moment. Back in 2010, Bitcoin, 1/3 of a penny. 2020, over $10,000 a coin. That's what's called an asset. It increases in value. That's an asset. Now that same time of the year though, 2010, $1 back then had a dollar's worth of spending power. That same dollar, because of inflation today, is worth only 81 cents. So the dollar went down in value. That's what we call a liability. Most of us have been programmed to spend our entire lives chasing paper liabilities, but the smart people right now are going out and focusing on digital assets. And if you think you missed it, if you said, well, yeah, if only I had seen this webinar in 2010, I would have known, you think Bitcoin is topped out, think again. The people who study this, that know what this is all about, they believe that Bitcoin will get close to $20,000 this year, but more importantly, by the year 2030 will be almost $400,000. That's a conservative estimate. I've seen some people estimate that it will be twice as much by the year 2030. And all of the big boys, they're letting Bitcoin go mainstream. Companies like Microsoft, AT&T, Overstock, BMW, even KFC, they're now accepting Bitcoin as payment. Why do you think they're doing that? You think it's because they're crazy or they're stupid? It's because they're hoping you're crazy and stupid. KFC is hoping that a year from now, I've got you on a webinar talking about why you paid $22 million for a bucket of chicken. That's right. They understand the value of Bitcoin. They're trying to accumulate it as much as they can. If you want to trade in some Bitcoin right now for some chicken or for some phone service, not understanding how valuable it's going to become in the future, that's on you. But they're going to make sure they do everything that they can do to get the Bitcoin from your pocket into their pocket. I want you to be smarter than that. LibertyX, they're allowing Bitcoin purchases now at 7-Eleven, CVS, and Rite Aid. So now over 20,000 retail locations across the United States, you're going to be able to just walk in and buy Bitcoin. Again, you look at that, you look at the fact that Bitcoin ATMs are now proliferating all across the country and all across the world, and you got to ask yourself a question. Do you really believe that the people in the know, the power brokers, you really believe they're putting hundreds of millions of dollars into building a Bitcoin infrastructure? They're doing it because they don't know something and it's going to not be, it's going to just be a fad and it's not going to be worth anything a year from now. They know what's going on and it's time for you to know what's going on. And that's why we invited you on this webinar tonight to talk about Qtrex. So what is Qtrex? It's a global peer-to-peer community funding initiative. It's built on the Bitcoin blockchain. It's decentralized, it's transparent, and it's a smarter contract. I'm going to cover all those terms. Don't worry about it. But just understand this. Global peer-to-peer simply means this. A lot of us right now around the world, you heard it when Mark was opening up. There are people dialing in from all over the world. We are completely focused on Bitcoin accumulation. But the way that we want to do it is we don't want to send it to someone else and then hope and pray that they will then do what they're supposed to do and pay us out. Peer-to-peer means it goes from your Bitcoin wallet directly to their wallet and vice versa. So no middlemen stepping in the middle and messing with your Bitcoin. Now, blockchain, crypto heads, please forgive me. I know you know this like the back of your hand, but give me a second for everyone else. A decentralized distributed ledger that records the ownership and authenticity of a digital asset. It's simply a way in coding to make sure that you get exactly what you're supposed to get, that you own it, that the world knows that you own it, and it can't be taken away until you decide to transfer it somewhere else. It's secure, it's transparent, and it is unhackable. That's a big deal when we start talking about the digital assets that we're referencing. A smart contract is a digital spin on a traditional contract. Back traditionally, two people get together, make some kind of deal, write it up, they have to go to a third party, a lawyer, a real estate office, etc., to help them execute it. The third party can be expensive, but they can also do some things where they don't follow through, and that can be a problem. The smart contract said, let's get rid of the third party. Let's simply set it up where we can actually put together a contract in code released on the blockchain. It says, if this, then that. It automatically happens when it's triggered, and no third party can mess it up, can't charge you in between, can't do anything to make that not happen once this happens. So it's automatic and it's not stoppable. Now, everybody told us that if we wanted to actually build a better company, we had to do it with a smart contract. They said, you got to do it. Smart contracts have so many positive. They're 100% transparent. They're peer-to-peer. That's right, wallet to wallet. So no one's ever going to touch your crypto. They're on the blockchain. We already talked about how powerful it is, and they're completely decentralized. Again, you're not sending your Bitcoin out to someone else. It's going peer-to-peer. It's perfect. But they had some cons too when we looked at it. We were trying to build a better company, and we saw that with smart contracts, there were also some increased fees. They were not developed for Bitcoin, and that was a problem for us because everybody actually wants Bitcoin. All these other companies operating with these other tokens, right? ERC tokens, for example, because that's what smart contracts were developed for. They say, when you say, how do I get my money? They all say, well, go turn it into Bitcoin, right? So we figured, why not just cut out the middleman and get right to the BTC? And oh, by the way, they're open source. Do you know how crazy that is? That you can build a better mousetrap, you can build something that everybody is raving about, and someone else could come along and say, I wish I had thought of that, but hey, since you thought about it and you put your code out there for the world to see, I'll just copy it and try to knock you off. We did not like that. We didn't like the fees. We didn't like the fact that we couldn't use Bitcoin, and we didn't like the fact that we had to show everybody how to knock us off. So we said, you know what? I know you're telling us we should do a smart contract. We're going to do a smarter contract. Advanced proprietary technology, providing instant peer-to-peer payouts utilizing algorithms of highly advanced crowdfunding infrastructure with no human interference. We are not a smart contract. We are better than a smart contract. And as you start to see this, I'm sure you're going to agree. Now, since everything is fully transparent, no middlemen, the code can never be changed. Nobody can come behind and say, you know what, Mark, I think you're making too much money. Let me play around with it a little bit so we can start cutting off some of the Bitcoin that you're accumulating. It can't be interfered with. Not even the creators can interfere with it because the code has been launched onto the blockchain. This is important because it means this project is going to go on without interruption. In fact, Qtrex actually went out and put in place a 99-year clock, which just symbolically means we're going to run for a century. We're going to run forever. And I want you to remember that. If you're thinking about building something right now that's not just going to last for a week or a month or a year or a decade, but is going to outlast you, this is what you have to do. You have to put something together and then be a part of something where it's coded out into the blockchain. The only way that you can stop it is to turn off the entire internet. We know that's not going to happen, so we are actually sitting pretty. Now, QTracks is the world's first fully decentralized massive BTC matrix and mega unilevel system. That's what I'm going to share in the second half of this webinar. Fully transparent, private, fully automated, no human interference at all. And by the way, I'm going to say it one more time because this is a question that comes up over and over again. Bitcoin is going to arrive directly and instantly to you in seconds over and over again. At the end of every one of these webinars, someone says, so how do I get my money out? Get your money out of what? It's in your wallet. It's not being paid somewhere else. It's not sitting in the back office so you can look at it, but you can't touch it. It's in your blockchain wallet. Understand that. You got your money instantly. We never touched it. It's yours. You can do whatever you want with it. So let's talk about this. Who would like to accumulate massive amounts of Bitcoin? I'm just going to assume that everyone's hand is up right now, and we're going to talk about it. So let's discuss the opportunity and how you can get started. But before we do that, let's do some quick housekeeping. I love this disclaimer because it lets me know that when the people are doing this, they got their heads in the right place. So this webinar is for general information purposes, doesn't constitute legal or professional advice. All the content here is subject to change based on real world events affecting the cryptocurrency marketplace, which is shown to be volatile, and changes can occur on a day-to-day basis. The information presented here is for purposes of illustration only, and we accept no liability for market changes that are beyond our control. It is the viewer's responsibility, that would be you, to keep current with the cryptocurrency marketplace in terms of any changes that could be relevant to one's personal circumstances. Here we go. Qtrex is not an investment platform. Qtrex is not, and we do not sell or market securities, and Qtrex offers a global platform only with the intention of empowering others regarding the cryptocurrency markets, particularly Bitcoin. Your success will depend upon your skills, your work effort, and the marketplace conditions. Qtrex developers and its global affiliates do not guarantee any level of income or your success. The Qtrex platform offers an opportunity and compensation plan for the people and by the people. I'm going to revisit that statement here in a moment, for the people and by the people. Everybody says that. You're going to see why we're the only ones who mean it here in just a second. With Qtrex, you can join for as little as $50 in Bitcoin US and up to 100,000 US dollars in Bitcoin. There is absolutely no cap to your earning potential. Question always comes up. What's my max that I can earn? Great question. What's your max that you can earn? You determine that. Now, the first part of this I want you to understand are the Qtrex packages. What I've done here, I'm just going to go through some of the elements. I know a lot of times people look at a compensation plan, they want every little detail, and I respect that, but most of the times on a webinar, people walk away with just one or two things that really, really makes a difference for them. So I'm going to hit all these different elements. You can decide which ones make the most sense to you. If you want to get back to us and get your questions answered, we can do that for you. So the first thing I want to talk about are the Qtrex packages. The first one is $50 US worth of Bitcoin. The highest one, Q13, $100,000 US worth of Bitcoin. You can actually get started with as many of these packages as you want, but you have to buy them in succession. There's no time limit, however, between when you buy them. So you can literally sign up and buy Q1, then Q2, then Q3, then Q4. It doesn't mean that if you want to come in at Q7, it's only going to cost you $1,000 in Bitcoin. You have to purchase Q1 for 50, Q2 for 75, Q3 for 125, etc. So it's a cumulative value. That's what I want you to understand most about these packages. You're going to see in a minute why each one of these packages represents more leverage for you. Finally, there's a Qtrex monthly maintenance fee of $33. So if you can get that, everything else that I'm about to talk about is going to build upon what I just showed you with these packages. So let's go to the first concept here that you just want to get, the split. The split simply means that we have what's called an upper queue and a lower queue. Don't worry about trying to memorize that. I'm going to go through them in detail, but all I want you to know is that every single dollar of Bitcoin that comes in through the packages on your team will be instantly split 50-50 between the upper queue and the lower queue. So if it's a $50 Q1 payment that comes in, 50% or $25 in Bitcoin is going to your upper queue, $25 is going to your lower queue. If it's $100,000 Q13 payment that comes in, 50,000 is going to your upper queue, 50,000 in Bitcoin is going to your lower queue. Understand the split, and everything else is going to make sense. So let's rock here. Let's first start talking about the upper queue, where it gets 50% of all of the payments that are coming in. We also reference this as being called a unilevel, okay? That's an industry term. Again, it's very, very simple. All it means is that you can go out and you can sponsor as many people as you want. I'm showing you 10 here, but it could be 100, it could be 1,000, it could be 2,000. I know we got people already who are 50 or 60 wide. That's just in a couple of weeks. They're showing no sign of slowing up. They'll probably end up at 100 or 200 or 300 wide. I know, Mark, someone like you in the last company that you were with, I think it was 420 or 430. I might even actually not even be doing you justice, but I know you went really, really wide. So I want you guys to understand that you can do that in a unilevel. You can go as wide as you want. The only thing I'm showing you this screen for is to understand this, the pass ups. What that means is that all of these payments are coming in, but the payments from your third and your 10th person that you sponsored, they're going to pass up to your sponsor, just the third and the 10th. Okay. After the third and the 10th payments are passed up, you have no more pass ups ever again. So whether you get 100 people, 500 people, it doesn't matter. It's only the pass ups for the third and the 10th. You should be excited about that. I know a lot of people are sitting right now. Why would I be excited about passing up these payments for my third and that 10th? Why would I be excited about passing up those two payments? Well, because you're passing up these payments, but you're not passing up these people. All of these people are still yours. And guess what? As they start building their teams, they're going to all end up with a third and a 10th, and all of those payments are passed up to you. That's leverage. So in this particular scenario, you gave up 2 pass ups to get 20 pull-ups, okay? That's how you get in financial shape, okay? The pull-ups. So understand something for a moment. Don't worry about these 2, worry about these 20. And guess what? You never have to pass up anymore, but every single person that you add, the 11th, the 12th, the 13th, the 14th, the 40th, the 400th, all of them are going to owe 2 pass ups to you as they build their teams. Again, that's the maximum leverage, how you're going to get that. So that's the first leveraging point I want to show you. Here's the second thing. I'm going to say it. You're not going to believe me. So then I'm going to show it to you. You probably will still won't believe me, but it's true. All of the BTC, all of the Bitcoin in the upper queue, other than the pass ups that we just talked about, is all yours, regardless of what level you are. Now, for anybody who's ever been in a company like this before, you think I just said something crazy and I made a mistake. I promise you I did not. All of the Bitcoin in the upper queue, other than the pass ups, is all yours, regardless of what level you are. I know no one else has ever done that before. It's okay. We did it anyway. That's how this company works, and you're going to start to see that as we go forward. So let me show you this for a second. Let's say that this is you, and you came in at Q1 and you decided to stay there. Remember, you're not forced to ever go up any more packages. You can just stay at Q1. I don't know why you would, but maybe you just like saying you're number 1, so you want to stay at Q1. But you have a team now, and they're not staying at Q1. They're going out, they're building, and they're moving up because they get it. Maybe they even get it more than you do because you wanted to hang at Q1. In the upper queue, it's not going to matter. Let's say this person right here, your second person, they now get to a point where they're ready to upgrade to Q7. Remember, that's a $1,000 package. 50% comes into the upper queue. That whole $500, even though you're only at Q1, that's still all yours. Let's say this person, they've been building for a while. They've been going up and up and up, and now they're ready to make the big power player move, and they're ready to upgrade to Q13 for 100K. Yes. Half of that comes into the upper queue. That's 50,000. That 50,000 is all yours, even though you're at Q1. No one does that. No other compensation plan out there does that. They say for the people, by the people, but it's really for the rich people, by the rich people. They constantly figure out a way to make sure that if you're the little guy out there really working your tail off, you're still not going to be rewarded ever. We wanted to make sure that we were different. We wanted to make sure that we had the game changer to set us apart. This is the game changer. No one can compete with that at all with any of the compensation plans that are out there. This gives you the ability to go do some big player things if you're thinking right. And I'm going to show you a strategy at the end to actually show you how to think right about this. Now, let's talk about the lower queue, because a lot of people would say, well, I guess I should just stay at Q1 then. Au contraire, mon frere, not so fast. Let's talk about the lower queue. This is a 1x3 matrix, and I'm not even going to assume that you know what a matrix is. So the first thing I'm going to say is this is how it works. It's you. That's the 1x3 part, right? And then there's going to be 3 positions that are going to come in underneath you. The first one is going to pay you. The second one is going to pay you. And the third one is going to pass up to your sponsor and create something called a cycle. All that means is you get a whole brand new 1x3 matrix, and you can keep running it back over and over and over again. Get paid, pay your sponsor, cycle. Get paid, pay your sponsor, and cycle. Now, here's why you might not want to hang out at Q1 though. I'm going to show you, and then I'm going to explain it. You can only benefit in the lower queue from your chosen package levels of participation. It's not like the upper queue. It's different. You can only benefit from your chosen levels of participation. What does that mean graphically? Let me show you. Guys, let's say that you get started and once again, you're thinking, yeah, I'm just going to hang out at Q1. Well, when you open up your Q1 level, you're going to get a Q1 matrix. And if you think about it for a moment, that means that anytime somebody is joining at the Q1 level behind you, people that you're introducing, well, guess what? 50% is going into the lower queue. So 50% of 50 bucks is 25 bucks in Bitcoin. So you're going to have 25 bucks that you'll get paid here in Bitcoin, 25 bucks in Bitcoin there, $25 paid up to your sponsor so you can cycle, and you can keep doing that over and over and over again. However, what do you think happens if somebody else comes behind you and joins at the Q1 and the Q2? Well, at Q2, you don't have a Q2 matrix. So you can't get paid in a matrix that you don't have. Q3, Q4, Q5, again, you can't get paid in a matrix that you don't have. That's why the people who really get this, the leaders, they're not coming in at Q1. They're saying, hey, I'm going to buy as many packages as I can out the gate. So if they can buy up 5, right, Q1 through Q5, you add all those up, that's 50 plus 75 plus 120 plus 250 plus 500. That's $1,000 to buy these 5 packages. But what they get 5 different matrices, Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, Q5, each ready to receive Bitcoin in different amounts. Now, as different people are actually coming behind them and getting started and putting in these payments, well, if they're coming at Q1, they're actually going in there. Q2 are going in here. Q3 is going in here. And these are simultaneously working over and over and over again. So anyone coming in now from Q1 to Q5, they have now upped their amount of leverage. They're not missing any of that Bitcoin that's going to them. If you don't do this, then all of the Bitcoin that comes in at the levels that you're currently not at, they're rolling up to the next person in your upline who is qualified to receive Bitcoin in that particular matrix. So the leaders are coming in as high as they can, and then they're moving as fast as they can to get as far as they can, so they're not leaving anything on the table. That's the difference with the lower queue with regards to how you're actually earning. Upper queue is all you, except for 3rd and 10th. Lower queue, got to be qualified for those particular packages in order for you to actually earn there. Now, the next thing I want you to understand about the lower queue, it's called spill up. I know a lot of people have heard of spillover before, where somebody, hey, they just put something down underneath you. This is called spill up, and it's truly exciting. A lot of people, they get involved in something like this, and they say, you know what? I'm going to wait before I talk to my players. I want to get all my ducks in a row. I want to get everything in the line, or whatever stupid colloquial line you're going to use to basically slow yourself down and shoot yourself in the foot. Don't do it here. If you hear something like that coming out of your mouth, bite down on it. Don't let it come out of your mouth. Go out and find your sharpest people as quickly as you can. Let me show you how spill up works and why you don't want to wait. Let's say this is you when you go out and find Joe. And for those of you that are already in with us, you know the Joe that I'm talking about. You know he's a super stud. Joe is way better than you. Okay, he's not waiting around. He gets started and he just goes crazy. And Joe says, okay, I don't have to wait for you. I'm in. You actually made some money, right? So let's say that this is the Q7 matrix again. So it's $1,000 level. 500 is coming into the lower queue. So you found Joe. He came in at the Q7 as well. You made 500 bucks, right? Then Joe goes out and he starts building through his Q7 matrix. So the first person, he makes 500. Second person, he makes 500. Third person, that causes a cycle, and that payment goes up to Joe's sponsor. That would be you. You just made another $500, even though the only thing you did was find Joe. Joe goes back to it now. Once he cycles, he comes back into the next open position in your matrix, and then he goes to it again. He goes out with another 3 people. He gets paid, you get paid. That spill up actually goes up to you, and Joe cycles again. Watch this. He now goes into your 3rd position in your matrix. Remember, the 3rd position goes up to your sponsor and cycles you. I want you to think about what just happened for a second. Joe was out here working. You're getting payments from Joe. Now, even your sponsor is getting spill up payments from Joe because there's one superstar down there getting busy, okay? You cycle at that point, you open up a new matrix. Joe keeps going. He gets paid again. He gets paid again. This 3rd payment goes up to you. Joe pops back. He cycles, and he pops back into the 1st position in your next matrix, and he just keeps going. You keep getting paid. You keep cycling, all from one person down there getting it done. Joe's going to go. So you should go out and find another Joe and another Joe and another Joe, if you understand what I'm saying, because then you could just have it happening even faster with spill up coming from everywhere, flooding into your Bitcoin wallet over and over and over again instantly, and building up your Bitcoin balance, Bitcoin accumulation. Next thing I want you to understand is simply this up here. It's going to flash. See that? The upper queue and the lower queue both operate simultaneously. It's not two separate things happening. One works now and the other one says while you're working, I'll work. No, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, they're both working simultaneously. And you're going to get paid from it over and over and over again. Let me show you what that looks like. We're going to again go to that Q7 matrix. There are the Q7. It's $1,000 payment. You're going to have your upper queue up here, and you would actually be talking about your Q7 matrix if you were qualified for it down here. Watch how it works. First person comes in. It's $500 in the upper queue. That's going to go all you. But that same first person up there, remember, it's a 50-50 split. They become the first person in your Q7 matrix as well. That's $500 there, first position, all you. Second person, 5 there, you. 5 there, you. So you just earned $2,000 with these two payments coming in. You got 100% of both of those payments between your upper queue and your lower queue. Now, third up here, remember, that's a pass up to your sponsor. We love pass ups. We already talked about that. Third person down here, that's a pass up to your sponsor to cycle you, okay? We got that. But now the fourth person after you cycle, they're going to come back. You got another fourth person coming in here, $500 all you. You now have a new, brand new Q7 matrix. We're going to put them over here. They're going to be the first position in your next Q7 matrix. Another $500 all you. You made 100% of that, 100% of that 1,000. Now again, fifth person, 500, 500. You made 100% of that 1,000. And now the sixth person, you earn the 500 here in your upper queue. But down here, that's your third payment in your matrix. That cycles you, and you actually get moving again. Understand something. This goes over and over and over and over again, working together at both times. Now take what I just showed you there and then add in that spill up concept, and it blows your mind. It really does blow your mind. And then take what I just showed you there and add in the fact that this is happening on multiple matrices at the same time over and over and over again. And you can understand why people are saying crazy things like, I just looked at my Bitcoin wallet. I don't know how that amount of Bitcoin got there, but it got there. I'm excited, and I can't even figure out where it's coming from and why it keeps going up, because all of these leverage points are working for you over and over and over and over again in multiple ways, all being done by code in the blockchain, can't be changed, can't be hacked, can't be stopped, and it's just building your Bitcoin wallet. It's incredibly powerful, incredibly powerful. Final thing I want to talk to you about here, and then we're going to talk strategy and wrap up. You get to earn from infinite levels in the lower queue. Remember, we alluded to it already. If people are not qualified to earn in a particular matrix, the computer simply continues to look up line to someone who is. So this is your group. You got started. You went out and found this guy, Joe. This is not the Joe we were talking about before. That guy's a stud. This is a different Joe. Okay, and you found Kim. Both of them came in. They're at Q1. You're at Q7. They both came in at the Q1 level. Joe went out and found Jim. Jim said, I'm going to do what Joe did. He goes Q1. Jim finds Sue. She said, I'm going to do what Jim did. She goes Q1. Sue finds Bob, and Bob says, listen, I saw the webinar that Mark did. I get it. I'm not doing what Sue did. I'm going to actually come in and I'm going to buy 5 packages right away because I understand the value of leverage. So I'm coming in at the Q5 level. Again, you add all those up, right? You add 5, 250, 125, 75, 50. It's $1,000 to come in at that Q5 level. Half of that goes into the lower queue. So now we have $500 that has to be distributed. What does the computer do? It goes up to Bob's sponsor, Sue, and it says, Sue, we've got levels Q1 through Q5 to send out payments on, but you're only qualified for Q1. Half of that 50, 25 bucks to you. Now we've got Q2 through Q5, which is another 475 bucks. Let's look up line. Nope, Jim's only Q1. We already paid the Q1. Joe's only Q1. We already paid the Q1. But you're Q7, which means you have Q1, Q2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. We paid out the Q1, but that other 475, we're sending it up to you, distributed in your Q2, Q3, Q4, and Q5 matrices. I just showed you a simple example going 4 levels deep from only one of your people. Imagine having 20 people. They're all going deep. They're all coming in at different levels. You've actually leveraged yourself because you've gotten it, and you have all of this Bitcoin flowing up into your different matrices, paying out into your wallet over and over and over and over again, simply because you got it and you put yourself in position. You can only benefit in the lower queue from your chosen package levels of participation. You cannot forget that. Don't choose to stay at a low level if you can choose to go to a higher level. So what's the strategy? It's a race to the top. That's all it is. It's a race to the top. If you've been paying attention here, you understand that what you want to do is you want to get started at the highest level of packages that you can. Are there going to be people who walk in the door and buy all the way up to Q13? Yes. We've got some people who are actually going to be doing that here in the next week or so. So they're going to walk in the door. It's over $190,000 worth of Bitcoin, but they get it. They have those big player pockets right now, so they can come in and do that. I understand that for most people, that is not an option. But what you have to do is pick the option, the very best option that you can pick. Start as high as you can, then recapitalize your position for more leverage. What's that mean? Recapitalize. Here's what it means. I've talked to a lot of people already who, when I told them how it works with our upper queue, they've said to me, oh man, that's incredible. So let me make sure I understand this. I could pay the $50 in Bitcoin for Q1 plus that 33 for the monthly. So that's $83 in Bitcoin. I can hang a Q1, go find somebody who throws, let's say, $20,000 worth of Bitcoin in to buy up as many packages as they can. And I instantly make half. I make $10,000 in Bitcoin. Oh man, that's like hitting the lottery. I can do that and I can just walk away with my Bitcoin, right? There's no reason why I can't walk away. You're 100% right. There's no reason you can't walk away because that Bitcoin will be sitting in your wallet and you're treating it like the lottery. Here's something you should know. A guy actually said this to me, and this is what I said back to him. Over 90% of all the people who hit the lottery for $1 million or more, so 7 figures, over 90% of them who hit the lottery for $1 million or more return to their pre-lottery status in terms of earnings within 24 months. So you're broke. You get millions of dollars. 2 years later, you're broke again. You know why? Because it's how the universe works. Here's how it works. Your mindset will either grow out to meet your money or your money will shrink back to meet your mindset. Either way, there's going to be a reunion. And for the people who are not thinking about this, they're not thinking about recapitalizing, your money is going to shrink back to meet your mindset. I see person after person get involved in these companies and wonder why, not just once, they can't be the big player. They can't get up to these top levels. And I see them make excuses. Well, yeah, the only reason those other people got up there is because they had big player pockets right from the beginning. Not true. You can start anywhere. You can start anywhere. But as you start earning Bitcoin, you can turn around and buy up another pack, and then buy up another pack, and buy up another pack. And as more and more people are doing the same thing and more Bitcoin is going into your BTC wallet, keep buying up packs, keep recapitalizing as fast as you can to get to the top. Every time you do, though, you're creating more and more leverage, so you're earning Bitcoin faster and faster, which allows you to accelerate your course, guys. That is how you think. There's a reason why two guys can open up a lemonade stand today, and 5 years from now, one of them is still working at a lemonade stand and the other one has a global beverage distribution business. The one guy, he took all of the money that he was earning, bought some nicer clothes, maybe bought a nicer car. The other guy kept recapitalizing his business, built it bigger and bigger, and now he doesn't have to run the lemonade stand. Okay, he doesn't have to run it anymore, and he doesn't even have to run the business because the business runs for him. He doesn't have to show up because he understood leverage, he recapitalized, and now he's a player. I'm telling you, if you want to be a player, this is a secret to being a player. Otherwise, the world could always use more lemonade stands. So listen, this is how we're going to get started. Step 1, secure and sign up for your own Bitcoin wallet to send and receive Bitcoin payments. Every wallet does not accept Bitcoin, so make sure you pick one that does. We use, as an example, blockchain.com. It's fast. It works perfectly with our system. You can get your Bitcoin immediately when you're making your payments to go up your different levels. It happens instantly, so it's awesome. Always double check your Bitcoin wallet address before placing it in the back office. This is the blockchain. So once you set that wallet, you can't change that wallet. So here's my biggest suggestion. Don't do this on your own. I know you got some pros out there, crypto heads. I'm talking to you. I know you guys are superstars. You're pros. But just get in the habit of doing this with the person who brought you to the table, just so they can make sure they point out every little thing, so you don't have to be sad later when you made a mistake that is not changeable. You cannot change the blockchain. So make sure you go back there, you work with the people that you're working with. They can walk you through it. Again, in the US, we found that blockchain.com works perfectly, or internationally, blockchain.com works a lot of places, but in some countries, it's Coinami. Guys, you can find the ones that work best for you, but you shouldn't have to look for this on your own. Consult the person who invited you. They can actually get you started. They can make sure you're actually making sure you got your passwords, your emails, everything, so you're not having any problems. And then always communicate with your team. If you can do this as a team effort, if you can basically talk to the people who invited you and you say, hey, I'm about to upgrade, what's up? And they say, okay, cool, let me upgrade. So everybody's just upgrading at the same time, staying ahead of what's going on. You're all getting up to big player status, okay? You can have big player potential without big player pockets at the time, but you can still get the big player status if you just work a strategy in the team. Don't think of it like a lottery. Recapitalize your positions. You guys are going to do awesome. Now, secure and deposit enough Bitcoin to cover the amount needed for your desired package levels and the Qtrex maintenance, and you can start rocking and rolling. Somebody asked me earlier today, he said, listen, I hear what you're saying, man. I can start as low as the $50 plus the $33 monthly, but what if I don't even have $83? If that's you and you're on this webinar right now and you're thinking that you can't be here, think again. Here's what you do. Go to McDonald's, get that job, work, get that $83, quit that job. Tell everybody that the reason why you're quitting is because you found a better way called QTracks. Some of them will laugh, but some of them will sign up with you. Recapitalize your position over and over and over and over again. Get to the top. Make a ridiculous amount of Bitcoin. Go back to McDonald's. Buy that McDonald's. Fire all the people who laughed at you. You can do that. I'm telling you right now, you can definitely do that. So get started now on your Qtrex journey. You go to getstartedtraining.com. We walk you through everything, making sure there's no mistakes, that your entree is going to be as smooth as possible. If you don't know where to buy Bitcoin, guess what? We solve that for you too. You can buy Bitcoin right on our site. If you have a Visa or a MasterCard, credit card or debit card, you can actually buy Bitcoin through this CoinLogic interface that we have. So again, we're taking care of all the hurdles for you. The other hurdle we're going to take care of for you, you don't have to try to remember everything I said and try to repeat it. You don't have to do that. We have an incredible webinar schedule that goes off 6 days a week, 6 days a week. And we don't just have it in English, we also have it in Spanish. So all you're going to be doing is QTrexWebinar.com or QTrexSpanishWebinar.com, and you're going to be able to go onto the English or the Spanish webinars, and you're going to be able to have a professional presenter, someone like Mark, present for you, get your people set up, get the business going for you, and allow you to continue to recapitalize your way to the top. Listen, I told you earlier, I was going to try to give you as much as I could from a high level. If you have questions, that's great. Get back to the person who invited you on. But if this makes enough sense to you, I promise you, you want to go out and you want to clarify the picture, because you don't want to miss this. This is going to be, for years to come, the #1 Bitcoin accumulation company and strategy that has ever existed. You don't want to miss it, especially when you have an opportunity to be on the ground floor right now in the middle of our leadership launch. So with that said, Mark, if you're there, I know your finger's probably killing you from letting all those people in, but sir, I'm going to turn the call back to you.
Outstanding. Oh my goodness. I'm still laughing about that McDonald's situation, but that's real. That is so real. Wow. So ladies and gentlemen, we have now got the opportunity to accomplish our goals, to fulfill our dreams, ladies and gentlemen. The only thing that can stop us is us, ladies and gentlemen. And I believe that we've got a lot of leaders on this call right now. You are doing now, people. This is exactly the type of opportunity that you have been looking for. And it's exactly the type of opportunity that you deserve. So what do you want to do? You want to get back in contact with the person who invited you immediately after this call. Timing and position is everything in business. I think you know that. Don't hesitate. You know, I've once heard that there were 3 types of people in the world: people that make things happen, people that watch things happen, people that scratch their heads and say, what just happened, ladies and gentlemen? You can see what's going on right now with Qtrex, ladies and gentlemen, the accumulation of cryptocurrency, lives being changed right now before our eyes. Don't miss out.